All right, we do have a problem here for the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA Retro League. As you can see on screen, we're looking at Cooper Flagg, and he has a little problem with his foot. And that is a problem when you play basketball. You need your feet. We all need our feet. So, this is something to think about when it comes to this final series. Look, I'll be honest. I think that the Sixers are the favorite to beat my team, the Saints. They're a little better than us, and you can look at the league standings. Let's just do that really quickly here. Hold on one sec, guys. Let's go down to the league standings here. All right, you can see that the Sixers had a 24-9 record this year. The Saints were one game behind them at 23-10. So this is a very tight matchup. Now let's have a look at the box score for the 76ers in period 33. That was the last game of the season. And you can see that Cooper Flagg here only played 18 minutes because he struggled. He had .332 fantasy points per minute in that game at shooting guard, and he didn't really dominate. Let's look at the Saints real quick here. The Saints at the two guard position had Josh Hart, .481. That's very good. Also at shooting guard, Ayo Dosunmu, .45. Shooting guard, Quentin Jackson, .48. On a side note here, both these teams are very deep. Jeff just gets it in this league. The deeper your roster, because it's best ball, the better. You don't want to spend all your money on a few players. I mean, you can do that and you might succeed, but it's not a bad idea to carry like 20 guys because it is best ball. And whoever rises to the top each week, they're going to make the box score. And this year, it's the roster limit is 24 players. Next year, it's going to be like 21. And I'll probably eventually move it down to about 20. Not 19. I'll probably make it 20 because I want to leave room for prospects and stuff. But I realize that as you guys get smarter about this league, you're going to realize that with best ball, it's better to carry more players, have some depth. And they always talk about that in the NBA depth. It's very important. You have to have that next man up ability. You don't want to be beholden to like 12, 14 guys. If somebody gets hurt, if a group of guys get hurt, you're dead. You're sunk. The Pistons are a perfect example of that. Let's check out the Pistons here. So you can see Ben Johnson's team. Look at he has so few players, and look at his score here. He scored barely 94 points, and it's because he's just got so many injuries. Antetokounmpo, that's a very important player, out. That kills him. He's dead in the water right there. Ivica Zubac, he's out, dead in the water. You don't want to be beholden to a very small handful of players. You want to carry a few players. You could spend a few bucks on your top three guys, four guys maybe, but you definitely want to find those cheaper players that are productive. So do your math. It's real simple. It's basically fantasy points per minute, which is fantasy points per game divided by minutes. So just do your spreadsheets, do your math, and you can win in this league. Guys, I offer the trophy here. And I feel like, everybody wants a trophy. And it's a good thing to win, but I mean, perhaps in the future I'm going to throw up, I don't know, maybe $100 or something along with the trophy to incentivize you guys because I want you all to compete in this league. I want you all to try harder, perhaps. I know some of you do, but I want everybody to try harder and I want to give you incentives because I enjoy the competition. All right. So, getting back to things here, the Philadelphia 76ers. Let's just go back here to the players tab. Bear with me, guys. All right, we got the Philadelphia 76ers, and we're talking about Cooper Cup, not Cooper, Cooper, Cooper Flagg. Hold on one sec, guys. All right, Cooper Flagg has an injury issue. That's going to be a problem for the Sixers because he is definitely one of their best players. He's their third highest scoring player on the season in gross points. And playing the shooting guard position, yeah, very important position. The small forward and the shooting guard are very important in any league, NBA, real life, and fantasy. So once again, Cooper Flagg with a foot issue. They expect him to be back by the 22nd of February. However, I've seen these foot injuries linger, and that's the problem. If Cooper Flagg doesn't play in this series against the Saints, or at least if he's limited and he's not always available, they're falling back on Dyson Daniels. Now, Dyson Daniels is not bad. I mean, he's actually pretty decent for what I thought he was going to be. And I can show you something here on Dyson Daniels. Let's look at the transactions. Okay, never mind. I'm pretty sure I traded Dyson Daniels to the Sixers about 3 years ago, but the system didn't record that transaction. Doesn't matter. Beside the point. Brandon Podzimski, that's their next guy in line. And although he can have good games on occasion, not great. Cam Spencer, yeah, he's good. A lot of people are talking about Cam Spencer. So they have some options if Flagg is out. But if the Saints have, and I already know because that's my team, they got Josh Giddey. If Josh Giddey's going to be healthy, that's going to be a problem, especially if Cooper Flagg is out. That's going to be a problem for the Sixers because Josh Giddey obviously can dominate. You can see the numbers. 17 fantasy points per game, 32 minutes. And the Saints also have Josh Hart. They have Ayo Dosunmu. Dosunmu, of course, is not going to be coming back to the Saints next year because he's going to ask for way too much money. And there's no way I'm paying this guy when he only scores 11 fantasy points per game playing 27 minutes. He wants like 25 to 30 million bucks. He wants Giddey money. That's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous. I'm not paying it. But right now in these playoffs, yeah, it works. I mean, Dosunmu can help me out. And he's now with Minnesota. Let's check this out. Let's see what he's doing lately. All right, you can see here on screen 11 points in 28 minutes. That's a crappy game right there. 15 points in 30 minutes. Okay, not bad. 5 points in 25 minutes. I feel like, when Dosunmu went to the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's like they think he's some sort of superstar. And I think that things are coming down to earth right now with Dosunmu. He wants a lot of money. Minnesota is going to have a hell of a time trying to re-sign this guy because he's going to want 30 million bucks. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that he even wants that. I think these players need to get realistic. It's like, dude, millions of dollars every year to play. I don't care what taxes take. You're still making millions when most people don't even make $100,000 in this country. Give me a damn break. You're playing a boys' game. That's my personal feelings. But at any rate, I feel like if Giddey plays in this series against the Sixers and Cooper Flagg is out, or at least he's compromised, that's going to be a problem for the Sixers. Okay, let's go back to the entire roster. Right now, as you can see right here on screen, the Saints have a clean bill of health for the most part. Dylan Cardwell, that's a guy I was excited about for the Kings. He's a young center, a rookie. He was kind of, exciting to me because he was putting together some really good games. Let's just have a look here just to prove it. That last game wasn't so special, but he was starting to ail with an injury. But look at the game before: 14 points, 32 minutes. That's a good game. 17 points, 25 minutes. Excellent game. 18 points, 31 minutes. I was like, oh my God, I uncovered a gem. And now he's hurt. So, that definitely hurts. He's out 4 weeks. He's done. We're not going to have him for the playoffs. But of course, we do have all the rest of our centers intact. Khalil Ware, yeah, he's a crapshoot. I mean, in Miami, sometimes he plays a lot of minutes, other times he doesn't. We do have Kyle Filipowski. Jonas Valanciunas is always good per minute. The Saints will have some issues at center, because of depth. That could cost us. I do have about $1.4 million or something like that left to spend, so maybe I can go out and try to grab somebody. But that may be a weakness. I'm just getting it. I'm going off track here, but I mainly made this video because I want to talk about Cooper Flagg and the fact that he's hurt, he's ailing, and that could be a problem for the Sixers, who are the favorite in this series with the Saints. Again, looking at the Saints here, you can see not a lot of red flags here. Dylan Cardwell, I talked about it. That definitely sucks. Philly, let's have a look here. Cooper Flagg, you got the red flag there with the cross, not a good thing. But everybody else pretty healthy. But if the Saints have a chance, look, both teams are really good. And I know we have a chance to beat these guys, but they are the favorites. So when I look at something like this, Cooper Flagg with a red flag going on here, a foot problem, that gives us a little bit more hope to win this series and advance back to the championship series, back to the finals in the NBA Retro League. As you may or may not know, I was in the finals last year against the Copperheads, lost that series. And I'm looking very much forward to getting back to the finals, even though I feel like, my team doesn't really deserve it because I don't feel like I'm all that special this year. But it's all about survival, injuries and stuff. And the other thing about this league is, because we only have 12 teams, you get the salary cap and you're not beholden to a contract. You can waive a guy up until, the deadline where you can't waive players and free up their salaries. You can trade with the free agent market. And I've done that all year. I acquired Kawhi Leonard. I mean, I've gone through so many superstars this year. And if you guys do the same, you can be just like my team. You can totally, do better than you should based on just paying attention and running the numbers and just doing your thing. I am rambling a bit now. My mind is wandering. I just want to make this video really quick to talk about this Cooper Flagg thing. Gives the Saints a chance. The semifinals are looking very interesting between the Saints and the Sixers. And my personal opinion is that the Poway Eagles are going to pull off the upset in the play-in. They're going to be playing against the Warriors. And we could talk about the Warriors in the next video because the Warriors have some injury issues as well. And they have some players that might not be there. And could the Poway Eagles actually make it to the finals? We'll see. It's possible. All right, guys. Talk to you later.